Hi everyone. Today I'm doing a quick video that was requested by Stones of Destiny on the Dark Ones in Atlantis. So she also asked that I review Lemuria a little bit more, but I'm going to do a different video for that because it's going to take a bit of time. So I already started doing it and then I realized, oh my goodness, this is going to be a lengthy video. So just quickly, a video on the Dark Ones in Atlantis. So um, keep in mind that these are my memories, my personal memories. And what we have to remember about memories, personal memories, not collective memories, but personal memories. Personal memories are colored by our personal experiences. So, for example, if two of us go to the same birthday party, we could remember different things about that birthday party. And so someone listening to us might not think we were at the same birthday party. We could even be, if it's a lot of time has passed, we might even be convinced that we weren't at the same birthday party. So it doesn't mean that having differing perceptions about a particular lifetime or time event like Atlantis or Lemuria, having different memories does not mean that one is accurate and the other one is wrong. It is simply a point of perception. So then you look for similarities, things that you experienced or felt that are very similar. And that's how you decide whether or not it fits you. If there are 10 people at this birthday party and we all come together and we all share our memories, eventually we could stitch it all together and come up with a full picture of what was happening at that birthday party, because we're not in two places at one time. So we rely on each other to fill in the blanks. And that's why I asked on my original video for Lemuria and Atlantis if anybody had any personal experiences or memories to please share them. So I am going to do a more full, more encompassing video on Lemuria later on down the line. So if you have memories of Lemuria, your lifetime in Lemuria, or pre-Lemuria, which is the aquatic lifetime, please go to that video and share your experiences with us, because what I'm going to do in the next video is I am going to address all of those experiences that everybody else has had, so that we can maybe flesh out a better understanding of what Lemuria was like, and even pre-Lemuria. Okay, so on to the Dark Ones in Atlantis. First, let me note that I personally have no memories whatsoever, personal or collective. I have no memories of the Dark Ones being in Lemuria. I have no memories of them being here. So if anybody has a differing memory where they do remember Dark Ones being in Lemuria, please let us know. But I personally, from what I have understood at a collective level, and from what I understand, from what I remember personally, there were no Dark Ones in Lemuria. So what I remember personally about the Dark Ones is that they were humanoid, and they were literally dark. What I remember, what I saw, was very similar to what many people today call the shadow people. So in this lifetime in Atlantis, I had what is the I was told, what I understand is I had the gift of persuasion in my voice. So what they did, what the Dark Ones did, was they told me things and I believed them. I bought it hook, line, and sinker without doing any of my own research, without having any personal experiences. I bought what they told me. And I used my gift of persuasion in my voice to sell their garbage to the masses. And I actually led a lot of people to an early demise. Um, and so I spent many lifetimes afterwards trying to make up for that. And in this lifetime, it took me more than half of my life to forgive myself. It took me like 3/4 of my life to learn how to forgive myself for that. And so before I came to understand all of this, I, even as a young child, when I would sing, I would purposely crack my voice. I never wanted to speak to people. I did it especially in a group setting. Even today, even now, I am very careful about the words that I choose to use and what it is that I choose to share. Always saying, giving people multiple ways of looking at things, because I do not want to sway somebody to believing what I believe, to understanding things only from my perception. And that all stems from that lifetime in Atlantis, where I used my gift of persuasion to convince these people to buy the bullcrap that the Dark Ones were selling. So what I remember in that lifetime is I am standing on like a balcony. This is in Atlantis. And there's a mass of people below me. Now, I'm not royalty in that lifetime, but I am like like the speaker. And there is, hiding in the shadows, there is a dark one next to me. And that dark one was a masculine force and in a physical body. And he was telling me what I should say to the people. Now, I need to say that even though I saw him in a physical body, I cannot tell you for sure that the other people saw him, that the people below me or the other people on the balcony. I don't know if they saw him, but I saw him as if he was in a physical body. And there's this group of people below me. You know, it's kind of like the Vatican thing. If you think about the Pope and how the Pope goes out on the balcony and addresses the crowd below him. That's what I saw, something very similar to that. And so I was talking to the people below, and I was telling them everything that the Dark One wanted them to buy. And the vast majority of them bought into it. They believed me. And so the reason why that's important is because that is exactly what is happening today. That is exactly what is at work right now. So a lot of people, including my boyfriend, and I have to remind him on a regular basis not to see the current world events as a political stunt by either side, because that's what the Dark Ones want. They want to pit us against each other. So there are certain politicians right now, and I'm not calling out any names because I don't want this to be a political thing. So there are certain politicians right now on both sides of the spectrum, on all sides of the spectrum, because you don't just have the Democratic Party and the Republican Party. There's also the Libertarians and the Independents and the et cetera. So without going any further into that, there are certain political people who are listening to the Dark Ones. And the Dark Ones are not just etheric, energetic beings. They are occupying human bodies. They are the ones that are pulling a lot of the strings right now today for the last couple of years, for the last several years, that are pulling us deeper into situations that are meant to pit us against each other, and deeper into situations that are meant to create wars and a loss of self-sovereignty. So Self-sovereignty is highly important because self-sovereignty, and I want you to look up that word. I'm not going to explain it because you will learn things when you do that. Look up self-sovereignty. Chat GPT, whatever AI thing, whatever, is a great way to go in there and say, what does self-sovereignty mean? And they give you a pretty good example of it. The reason why self-sovereignty is so important is because it is our next step in our spiritual evolution. Self-sovereignty, essentially in a nutshell, is being true to ourselves, to what it is that we feel and what it is that we know inside of ourselves, rather than going along with everybody else. So when I sold this bill of crap to the masses in Atlantis, because the Dark Ones wanted me to, what I did at that time was I robbed them of their self-sovereignty. I stole that from them. This is what is happening today. So self-sovereignty does not mean that we do not care about other people and other creatures. It means that we care about what is inside of us first. It is our connection to the source. It is our truth that connects us to that source. It is the divine spark that we carry inside of us. Each and every one of us carries a divine spark inside of ourselves. And when we lose self-sovereignty, we then lose that connection to the divine spark inside of us. It doesn't go away, but it's like we put a cap over it, or a jar over it or something, but we close it off. We no longer connect with that inside of ourselves, and that is the next step for us. So it's really, really important. These times were foretold by many different cultures and many different religions. And the reason why they were foretold was because this is when the Dark Ones step up again. You have to read between the lines when you read religious doctrine, when you read the mythology of past cultures, because there is in that story is the truth about the end times. And it's the end of the world as we know it. Is not the end of the planet. It simply means that we are changing, that things are going to start happening differently. So that's a whole different topic. But back to the Dark Ones. So the Dark Ones are here now. They've never really gone away, but they are in full force right now. They are en masse, and they are targeting everybody to try and get us to give up our self-sovereignty. So let me also say that I did just a teeny bit of research in order to answer Stones of Destiny's question, because I thought it deserved much more insight about the Dark Ones in Atlantis. So in that little bit of research that I did, I came across the Archons, who I've heard about briefly here and there. There is a channel called Esoterica, and I really like his explanation. And he doesn't give a final, this is who the Archons are, or who they were. But he gives you several different options and other places to look. But don't, just put it into YouTube and go wherever you felt guided to go and look at a couple of different things. So from the descriptions that I came across about the Archons and my personal experience with the Dark Ones, there is enough of a connection there that I think it is a very good probability that the Archons and the Dark Ones, as I know them, are, if they're not the same, they're very closely related. Stones of Destiny has a memory of them coming from another planet, that they weren't seated here. And I would tend to agree with that, very much so, from my personal experience and from what I understand around that personal experience that I remember. But we need to remember that just because we have this duality experience of good and bad, painful and joyful, etc., does not mean one thing is bad and really at its core, and another thing is good, because they are all having their experience as well. Um, we all come from the same source. And the closer that we get to source, the more that we remember that there is no separation, that the separation is an illusion, which is what the dark ones are trying to enforce, is the idea of separation. And so, because I think one thing and you think something different, then you must be a bad person and I'm the good person. You're wrong and I'm right. That's not accurate. All of these experiences of being good or being bad are to help round us out, to help us understand each other. So, with the politicians that are right now in this time listening to the dark ones and doing the dark ones' bidding, I cannot judge them. And I can't judge them because I was them in Atlantis. I was that person who bought into what the dark ones said and convinced everybody else to buy into it. So listen to those politicians and weigh what it is that they're saying. If they're saying things that are meant for you to give up your personal sovereignty, that's the dark ones. If they're saying things that make you angry at another person or another party, that's the dark ones. If they're saying things that divide us, that war, etc., those are the dark ones. And they exist, those politicians exist in every party, every political party. The dark ones are not speaking through just one political party. They're speaking through all of them. And while some of those politicians may realize that they're selling the people a bunch of bullcrap that is not good for humanity, my personal feeling is that the vast majority of them do not understand that they're perpetuating the agenda of the dark ones. And so we have to have some sympathy for them, some empathy for them, to understand that that doesn't make them evil. That doesn't make the politicians bad or evil. I wasn't in Atlantis when I listened to the dark ones. I wasn't a bad person. I wasn't an evil person. I really wanted to do right by the people when I spoke to them. But when the dark ones sold me their bull crap, it sounded so right. And I just bought into it. I was like, if I was a great speaker and able to persuade people to believe things, the dark ones were really good at it too. But they were talking to me, and they wanted me to persuade the people, and that's what I did. And so I can't judge the politicians today who are doing that. It's just they're me back then. So I guess that's what I want to say. Same dark ones as who were in Atlantis. I don't know if at an individual level, but the same thing. And they are the ones that are speaking to the people around the world today through politicians, mainly through politicians. And many of those politicians do not realize that they've bought into a line of bullcrap. So they'll come back in future lifetimes, and they'll spend lifetimes trying to make up for that, just as I did, because that's just what this earth is all about. All right, so I love you all very much, and hope that this video makes sense. Any further questions, please comment below, and I will try to fit them into the Lemuria video that I'm going to be making shortly here. So I've been absent for a while. Life is finally kind of straightening out for me, and looking forward to making more videos, talking to you all soon. Love you. Bye.